Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is a continuation video of the previous video showing you how to create MIDI tracks and control the CTX via MIDI through a DAW. And then at the end of that video I showed you how to record the audio. So I've now recorded the 4 tracks of MIDI as different sections of audio. And you'll notice that I've recorded them all in one complete take from beginning to end rather than in the separate blocks. I found that when I recorded them as separate blocks they didn't quite fit together that neatly, so it was better to actually record them as one complete take. And remember that I recorded the flute and the violin as 2 tracks, one on the left and one on the right, and then the cello and the piano as tracks on the left and on the right. So I've mixed them a little bit and changed the levels just to make sure that they balance out, and I've panned these audio tracks. I've also added some reverb and some delay on the tracks as well. So let's have a listen to a little bit of the beginning of the arrangement. So you can hear there's a little bit of reverb on there and some delay, which has come from within reason rather than from the keyboard itself. I'm using send and return effects here, reverb, a little bit of left delay and a little bit of right delay as well, just to give them a sense of space. I've also adjusted the dynamic control with a bit of compression and a gate, which just shuts everything down when there's nothing playing, keeps the noise levels down if there are any evident. And also I've just adjusted a little bit of EQ on the cello and on the piano tracks, but other than that pretty much what you're listening to is the CTX. If I go back to the sequencer page and we just scroll up to the MIDI tracks, you can see the MIDI tracks have been muted. But of course we can unmute those and have the MIDI playing alongside the audio. So let's have a listen to a little bit of that. So there you've got the recordings, the audio recordings with their reverb settings and balanced out, playing at the same time, and I haven't adjusted anything really on the MIDI tracks, just the settings that we originally made with the controller settings on the reverb and the panning, and this is everything the MIDI plus the audio. Let's have a listen to another little section of this. So that's actually giving quite a nice sound for me. It's making it much fuller. The MIDI and the audio are not cancelling each other out. They're actually seemingly boosting each other and just making a bit thicker sound. So I hope that's shown you the kinds of creativity you can get into once you've connected your keyboard up to some software like this. Of course, what I can do now is actually record and export the audio as a WAV file and play that back from the CTX. So let's do that. I've set up the left and the right locators to encompass the whole song from beginning to end, and then if I go to the file menu I can export a loop as an audio file, give it a name, click on save, and then leave the settings at fairly standard rates and bit depth. So this is 44.1 Hertz and also 16-bit depth, and then this will play back on the CTX. So I just click OK, and now it's exported that as a WAV file, and I'm going to put that onto a memory stick and then go and play it from the CTX. So we're now back at the CTX, and I've loaded the USB flash drive onto the keyboard with the WAV file that I saved. I've renamed it as well, and then to play it back you just use these controls here for audio. So there's a play and stop button here. So let's have a listen back to the track. And we can play along with this from the keyboard as well. Can change tones and that sort of thing. I wouldn't recommend using an accompaniment part because obviously the tempos are going to change and be slightly different. I've also got the recording that I made. I decided to make a recording using the MIDI tracks without any mixing, saved those as audio and added them into the audio tracks that were mixed in Reason to give us that fuller sound. So this is the same thing but with that fuller sound of tracks together. You can make small adjustments to the audio playback if you go to the function button here and then use your left and right arrows until you find audio play, this one here that says audio play. Press enter. You can repeat it, which just makes it into a loop, not a looping kind of facility, but it just repeats it. And then use the left and right arrows. You can change the volume, the balance between the recording, the audio recording, and the volume of the keyboard if you're playing along with your backing track. And you can also cancel anything that's in the center of the stereo field. This is really appropriate if you've got vocals in the middle and you want to cancel the vocals and leave the accompaniment that's happening on the sort of left and right side of the stereo field. But I don't really want to do that, and then just press exit and we're back at the two different files. And finally, this is the complete recording of the arrangement of the 4 tracks that were recorded in Reason, processed and mixed, and now being played back from a WAV file on the CTX.